In the 1800s, it was nighttime unless you were awake, because without streetlights, people went home when the sun set. Most homes didn't have electric lights either. They used candles and oil lamps. But there was always one place where the night never got dark: factories. These buildings glowed with furnaces and machines running day and night. And that changed everything. Because while inventors across the globe were trying to capture lightning in a bottle, one man dreamed of capturing fire. His name was Thomas Edison. Born in 1847, he grew up poor. He had very little schooling. But he was curious about everything. How did the telegraph work? How did steam engines move trains? How could he invent better batteries? He read books, he experimented, he learned. He became one of the most prolific inventors in history. And now he was hunting for the ultimate prize, capturing light. He knew fire could be tamed. If you took something like this hemp cord and braided it super tight, then dipped it in wax, you could make a candle. Or take oil from these sesame seeds, mix it with a wick, and you could make a lamp. But he wanted more. Fire was uncontrollable. A candle would burn out after a few hours. A lamp had to be refilled and cleaned constantly. Edison wanted something that burned forever. For thousands of years, humans had struggled to tame fire, and it seemed endless. Then in 1879, Edison found a solution. Inside a glass bulb, he put a thin metal thread called a filament. When he connected the ends of the filament to a battery, it started glowing. It looked like a tiny sun. But how could it burn forever? You see, Edison knew that burning stuff in air burns fast. So instead of air, he pumped the bulb with an inert gas called argon. The filament was still burning, but much slower. Now Edison just had to find a material that wouldn't burn out too fast. He tried paper and string and wire, even horsehair. Nothing worked. One day he pulled a sheet of wood from his desk and wrapped it into a thin strip. He put the strip in the bulb and ran current through it. It burned brightly and slowly. Perfect. This was it. A simple piece of wood that burned without flame or smoke. It lasted 200 hours. At the time, the average candle lasted 4. And that changed everything. People could light their homes at the push of a button. Factories could keep humming. The experiment that began centuries ago was over. Humans finally conquered the night. But before Thomas Edison lit the world, other inventors had big dreams for electric light. Some stories go back hundreds of years. In 1616, Galileo Galilei noticed something strange. When he rotated a glass sphere in front of a candle flame, it emitted a rainbow glow. Scientists soon realized that any object heated by light would emit its own light. This became known as fluorescence. Then, in 1801, English scientist Sir Humphry Davy took this principle further. He used a chemical reaction to produce glowing gases. With a second electrode, he could turn the glow into a steady beam of light. He had invented the first electric arc lamp. It was revolutionary, but also dangerous. The intense light would literally blind onlookers. So the arc lamp was never used at home. Cities later used them for streets, but for houses? Impossible. Meanwhile, inventors kept dreaming. In 1841, British physicist Warren de la Rue created a platinum filament inside a vacuum tube. Electricity flowed through the filament, lighting the space around it. It was a perfect design, but platinum was expensive. Even worse, it was already being used in electrical work, so de la Rue's bulb was never mass-produced. Instead, the race for the light bulb picked up speed in the 1870s. Two men were neck and neck, Joseph Swan in England, Thomas Edison in America. Both of them had been working separately on the same thing, and they both had breakthroughs around the same time. Swan finished first. In 1860, he patented his design. But something was wrong. It was wildly inconsistent. Sometimes it worked. Sometimes it didn't. Why? Well, the problem was the vacuum. It was difficult to create and impossible to maintain. Whenever the vacuum broke down, the bulb burned out. It looked like this. At the same time, Edison was making progress. But he faced his own problem. You see, when Edison started inventing things, he would patent his designs immediately. That protected him legally, but it made him secretive. Other inventors couldn't share ideas with him. They were competitors. Then, in 1874, a freak accident gave Edison his breakthrough. He was trying to improve the vacuum pump when he accidentally knocked over a table full of chemicals. A pungent green gas filled the lab. He recognized it immediately. It was the same gas that filled light bulbs at the factory. Someone had left a valve open, and the leak had been slowly filling his basement. It was perfect. You see, every time Edison tried to create a vacuum, his machine would leak air. And somehow this mysterious gas was better than a vacuum at keeping the filament from burning out. All this time, he had been fighting nature's most basic instinct, oxidizing. That's why candles burn out. That's why oil lamps need to be refilled. Now he had a way to stop it. In 1878, Edison filed a patent for an improved vacuum. It was a game changer. He could make and maintain a good vacuum, and now he could find better materials for his filament. After experimenting with dozens of substances, he found something that worked: a thin strip of carbonized bamboo. It lasted 1,500 hours. Finally, the light bulb was ready for the world. But who would get there first? Swan or Edison? Swan beat him by 2 years, but his bulb was unreliable. Edison beat Swan to the U.S. market, thanks to his brilliant business partner, George Biblioteca. His company manufactured and installed electric systems. In 1879, Edison opened a factory in Menlo Park, New Jersey. Within 3 months, they were producing 1,000 bulbs per week. Then the two inventors got together. In 1881, Swan and Edison joined forces, combining their patents and resources. Together, they owned the future of electric light. By the 1880s, Edison wasn't just selling bulbs. He was building power stations. His company raised millions to light entire cities. On September 4, 1882, the first station opened in New York. It sent electricity to 59 Wall Street. There, they lit up 400 lamps. It stayed dark outside until sunrise, but inside the building, it was always daytime. Soon, electric light spread everywhere. City streets were lit. Shop windows glowed. Homes were filled with light. Workdays stretched longer. Kids played after school. Stores sold midnight snacks. Electric light made the night feel like day. From there, the light bulb became a fixture in our lives. Families argued over which light bulb was best. Some preferred the warm glow of incandescence. Others liked the harsh brightness of fluorescence. Some worried about high energy costs. Others cared about longevity. The debate continues today. Should we use LEDs? Are they too cold? Too blue? But no matter what type of bulb you use, they all do the same thing. They give off light. We use them every day. We take them for granted. But once upon a time, they were the biggest technological leap in history. It took centuries of experimenting, rivalries, successes, and failures to bring us this simple device. It seems almost magical. You flick a switch and light fills the room. But don't forget, this moment took centuries of struggle. Before the light bulb, people fought against the dark. With the light bulb, humans truly mastered the night. Thanks for watching. Share this video with someone who brought light into your life. Comment with the emoji that represents you, and don't forget to subscribe.